it's not my retro hairstyle. But, well, I'm Niels, this is Anushka. We've been working together since '97. And we've made a lot of work, and we thought, how are we going to present it? And then we made a sort of wheel of fortune with all the pictures that we did since then. And we would like to invite someone from the audience to push the button. So.
Any volunteers?
Anyone? Okay, I'll be pushing the button.
There's someone.
Okay. That's the stage bar.
Yeah.
This is start, and then you.
Oh.
Well, this is a
Technical problem.
I think we did this image. Okay.
Okay. Again. One more time.
One more time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh,
okay. Hey.
Hey, it's working. Yeah. Do you want to stay or?
No, I'll leave it to you.
You're welcome to stay and push the button for the whole session if you want.
Why not?
Okay.
I have some purpose in life now.
Okay, we did this picture in '96, I think.
97 for Self-Service magazine.
There was no Photoshop involved in this, and we did loads of like floating, standing, flying objects, like this one. Yeah. And stop. You want to talk about it?
Is it stopping? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was also shot for Self-Service magazine. It's kind of in a chronological order. And we shot this of all the influential people from that time. It was around 2000, I think. And we photographed, like this was Melanie Ward. And we kind of wanted to photograph them in kind of a posy way, but still capture, how do you say, kind of a sensitivity within that. Yeah. Next.
Next. Yeah, we did this picture series for a book called Porn, made by the Hoxton.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
I can't remember the name. Anyway, the book was called Porn, and we were like, oh God, what do you do with porn? So we were on a trip to Greece, and then we were walking around, and we saw this fuse, and then you look at the floor, and there are like condoms everywhere. So it's sort of like make-out spots. And it's hard to see anyway, but in print it looked very nice.
Yeah, it was also really nice because all there were like this kind of nice sunsets, and the Greek people, they just drive up there in the car, and then they have sex and throw out the condoms. So it's kind of a nice scenery, but at the same time it's kind of nasty. So
we were like this, taking a picture with the technical camera and the car next door. You know, it's sort of like throwing out new material.
Okay, next.
Yeah. Oh, that's my wife. We did these pictures for Re magazine, made by Job van Bennekom. He's a graphic designer. This issue was about
Information trash can.
Information trash can, like an overload of information on the internet, and I think it was in 2001 or 2002.
Yeah, something like that.
And we photographed the people from the magazine and people we knew this way.
Yeah, and then it's kind of nice that you fill in, like we photographed all silhouettes, but then still you kind of see the face, but here it's really dark. But normally you're supposed to see a little bit of it, but that's
yeah.
So you can fill in, yeah.
Thank you. Slide swap. This is a portrait we took from a woman who's very famous in Holland. She's from the Salvation Army. And we did it for an assignment we we got from a museum, and it was the God of the Netherlands. So we took pictures of all the people who were in charge of the church, or in charge, yeah, I don't know how to say it. Anyway, like prominent people from the church, and this is one of them. She died. It's 2003, I guess. Sorry. Super nice film. This is also for Re magazine, and it was I think we did a series to concentrate on smoking people, smoking attributes. It were like things that were disappearing. That time, I think that will never disappear, but the restaurants were banning the cigarettes and stuff like that. So we did this series to, I don't know, like a tribute to smoking.
So old.
This is a series we did for Interview magazine, an American magazine. Haute Couture, I think it's Victor and Rolf, this one. And yeah.
Yeah, it's very aesthetic.
It's very aesthetic.
There's not so much to say about it.
It's 2000, I guess. Huh?
Yeah. I don't know. Next.
We photographed these shoes of a Dutch shoe designer. He had like 300 pairs of shoes, like how do you call it, the prototypes, and they all got redone. So there were old shoes. They made them new, and I don't know how to explain it. It's sort of like
Yes, yeah.
Anyway, we had like 300 pairs of shoes, and they wanted us to take pictures of the shoes.
But all the 300.
All 300 for a catalog. And we thought, it's so difficult to do that, you know, like making pack shots of how we're going to do it. So we built a sensor that picks up sound when there's like a click or anything, the flash will go off. And we threw all the shoes against the wall. And then,
yeah, the moment when the shoe hit the wall, then the flash went off, and so we had all these
just renovated shoes. Are you still enjoying it?
Absolutely. Great.
Yeah, this was our first shoot for another magazine. It's also quite a long time ago. And then we had this idea to have some performance artists to be the fashion shoot. And it was totally... and one model who started crying, and she was like, I'm just a model. And then, because they were completely out of it. But it was, yeah, in a way it was super nice, because it just happened, but I think the stylist was not really enjoying it.
Everybody was really stressed out, except the people doing the performance, I guess. And we.
And we, yeah.
Okay. We did this, for Fantastic Man, I guess, or he?
No, Fantastic Man.
Fantastic Man.
Was a friend of the editor of Fantastic Man who just was wearing his own wardrobe. Yeah, I mean, there's not so much to say about that.
That's him.
Yeah.
Peter Jeroensen.
Oh. Sorry.
That's cool.
Oh.
Thank God. Well, it's picking up all the Fantastic Man stories and re-stories. This is a series about plants. This is a plant. Actually, there are two. I think we put them together and made them into something new, like I don't know. Yeah.
It was negative. Right?
And it's negative. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Next one. We get some older stuff.
Oh.
Hey,
Ah.
a good one.
Talking about retro hairstyles. Yeah, I mean, this is we did all these these Polaroids in front of a shoot, and we thought it's nice to put them in.
Yeah, this was when we were still shooting. Now we shoot everything digital, but then we were still shooting films, and then you first do a Polaroid to see if the light is right, and to kind of get an idea of what we're gonna do. And then Niels was always the stand-in. He was always.
She didn't want to be in the frame.
He was always, and at the end we made a small book out of it, which I mean, if you know our work, then you see all the pictures.
It's very narcissistic,
But then with
but
Niels in it.
not meant to be. Yeah. Ah.
More.
Ah. Yeah, no, same story.
Yeah, it's more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same story. It's like. Another gentlewoman. Yeah, this we shot for Gentlewoman, and then we did all these poses on the street. What you normally do in the studio. We thought it's kind of nice to just put it in real life, because it's kind of a bit absurd to have always all these kind of how people standing and posing in the studio. So we thought like, oh, let's do a fashion shoot on the street and have the same idea of what you would normally do in the studio. And it was nice that just people were walking by, and so, yeah.
Sort of a Porsche area. No.
It's nearby. Yeah,
Actually, this, what was it?
Soul magazine.
I saw a magazine. We did pictures. How can you explain this? It's like full frame pictures, and if you fold them together and you open the page, then you have like two pictures together combined. And that's what we did with this, to get a new picture.
So if you would open it, you could get posters. So if you get the images out, you would
you
get
have
the whole image, but then we kind of put them together so you get kind of a new image.
Still like it?
Yeah, that's great.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. This was done for COS magazine, and we photographed students from the design department of the Rietveld Academy wearing COS. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, COS is very, was very, how do you say it, like, they always used models, so it was sort of like something new for them to use real people, as if models aren't real, but like normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was a nice story.
You want to stop?
This was shot for Modern Weekly. Yeah, I think within these images, within the portraits we normally do, we always try to find something that's almost perfect, but we also always try to find something that is a bit off. It's not only the hairdo, but you're always looking for something, also an expression, or it's nice when someone is not like totally posing or a little bit insecure. So you're always within the perfection. We always try to find something what doesn't have that perfection, so you get a bit of another layer within the thing. Cool.
Go. Yeah, we did this for a German magazine, Kidswear, where we had to take pictures of kids in clothes, and it's sort of like very impossible to do that. So we thought, let's wait till they sleep, and then take the picture. And we lit it with a torch so that they didn't wake up because of the flash. It's the son of Anushka.
Yes?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good.
That's good.
There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
It's the same, this actually.
Yeah, it's also for kids wear.
And the same idea, like how do you know, control these babies? This is my son, by the way. So I put on the black suit. I don't know if you see it still. And we just shaped them in the pose that we liked.
Great.
I don't know if he likes it in this picture.
It's also Fantastic Man. It feels like we're only doing Fantastic Man, but this was the catalog shoot for. So their whole issue was catalog, about catalogs, which is super
Sportswear?
difficult. Sportswear, which is really difficult to photograph because it's kind of like a non-image, and you have to make an interesting image out of it. And well, this is what came out. Well, the whole series.
Yeah,
you have to see the whole
super many
series.
pictures.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, we did this portrait of an architect in Berlin for Pin Up magazine. That's it, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this we did for
Vaak
Vaak magazine. They wanted us. No, that was a teenage number issue. How do you call it? Like a.
Like about
Magazine.
teenage.
And we thought, how can we take pictures of teenagers to be interesting? And then we first made a selection of teenagers we knew, and then we shot them in like total darkness, so they don't see us. Only like a very small glow in the dark thing, and they see it, and then we take the picture.
So that's
So
why
to
they
get a
have a
very
bit of a
strange,
weird. Yeah.
Extraordinary lighting.
Wil je daar iets over zeggen?
This is yeah, for Dazed and Confused, a fashion story with Lily McMenemy, and it was all about what was the designer? I don't know. It's a fashion story.
Ja,
You can just-
Machino.
No, it was somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, this was done quite recently for Arena Home Plus. Yeah, I don't know, it was kind of like
Improvisation.
kind of an improvisation. We did about 30 images in 2 days, and we
I think
just
the combination
played
is really
around
nice.
with yeah.
Ja.
Ik weet niet wat ik daarover moet zeggen. Yeah, this was shot for another magazine, and then we had the idea of getting models who all kind of looked like each other. and then, or make them look like each other. And because a lot of times I don't know, there's just an image of a model, and we thought it's kind of nice when you get this confusion. And then when they were in the studio, I don't know, this just came out of it. We kind of all morphed them more together than make them look like each other. So that just kind of existed while we were doing the shoot. Yeah.
We're back on the
Back in 97.
92 actually.
This? No.
No, this not. Oh. Yeah, this is a picture we did for Victor and Rolf. I think in 95 or 96.
No, I think 96 or something. This was before we were at art school. We never thought about doing anything related to fashion. And then we started working for Re magazine with Job van Bennekom, and he introduced us to Victor and Rolf. And this was the first thing we did with Victor and Rolf. And I don't know, I mean, that's kind of how we ended up in the whole fashion industry.
Yeah. No, we're back in 97. That sort of says it's looping. We did a fashion shoot with all the people that we knew. I think back in 97 or 96, it was sort of very new to use people that just in the street, or, I mean, these are my parents, on the street in front of their house. And yeah, that's a bit the way we started, because we didn't have any idea of, you know, models, clothes, and stuff like that. So,
yeah, for us it felt safe to just work with people we knew. So we also photographed my grandmother, and we photographed my mom, and just friends. And that's a bit how we started. And then at some point you get more aware of the whole industry, and we started more using models.
Well, this was for Re magazine, the boring issue. Yeah, that's it. It's me. Well, this we had. What a coincidence. And this we had too. And this we had too. Oh, yeah. It's amazing. No. We did this for a play, Franny and Zoe. No?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this was done for Victor and Rolf for their book. Yeah, it's also, it doesn't really have a big story.
It's a big story, no.
No.
This is how they wanted to have the picture. This was a story about the photographer, no?
Yeah.
For Re magazine. And it's all attributes of a photographer. And I don't know, this is his coat, I guess.
The sweater.
I can't remember. It's strange to have all these pictures, yeah. And this we did for, what was it?
For Interview magazine was also with Victor and Rolf, and their whole collection was this blue, how do you call it?
Like a blue screen?
Blue screen. So we had the whole time two images next to each other. So you had like the one with the clothes and the one we projected through the blue screen. So yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is really bad. That was I think the worst shoot we ever had.
In a hotel room. And they warned us because apparently she was going to be very difficult, but she was very nice, and he was very difficult.
Yeah, this
on
is
the other
Juliette,
side,
Juliette Binoche, and the actor was Jean Reno. And then everyone was so focused on him, and no one really on her, and no one really paid any attention at Jean Reno. And then I don't know. I asked him only to put his chin up, and he completely freaked out that he was not a model. And then she was smiling and happy.
Yeah. They got a massage, and
But I don't know, yeah, it's
it was
pretty
all fine
bad.
in the end.
Yeah, that's another.
Maybe it flips by.
Do we have the button?
Well, yeah, it's the same.
It's got the newer stuff. Let it run a bit.
Newer
It's
stuff.
so old.
Tell me, man.
Yeah, maybe stop. Another
Another
Sleeping Beauty story. These are our kids,
Again.
photographed for kids wear. Another year. Every year we do one. I think this is the last one we did.
No, the other one was the last one. But
Yeah.
this is also with it kind of started when we had them sleeping, because we went to the park with them, and then we wanted to do something, and it was really like a disaster. And then at some point they were tired, and we were driving around, and they fell asleep, and then we started taking the pictures. So
Yeah. With
So
her
we've
girl,
been-
it was really difficult. Because, like a piece of grass, like, what? Mine, we just put on new clothes and put them back in the grass. It was,
yeah, but they only sleep 2 hours like during the day, and we needed the daylight. So we did it for like 6 days, I think. Every day between 1 and 3, we went driving with the kids to go to the park.
yeah. And our intern, in the meantime, was walking with the stroller to keep them asleep. We're done.
That's the beep.
Yeah, that's the beep.
Okay.
But then this is the last one. This is sort of a crossover between the kids and the woman in the street, I guess, no?
Yeah, this was for Days to Confused, the in the bluebells. Well, that's it, no?
Yeah, thank you very
Yes,
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.